stop walking. Be quiet, don't move. Be quiet, stop talking. Be quiet, don't move. Quiet, stop walking. Somebody's talking. Be quiet, stop walking. Somebody's talking. Quiet, stop walking. Somebody's talking. Be quiet, stop walking. Somebody's talking. Quiet, stop walking. Somebody's talking. Be quiet, stop walking. Somebody's talking.
What's up?
Happy Friday. Welcome back to Behind the Investigation. Hello, Heather. Behind the Investigation with Pasadena Paranormal. Jared.
Brent.
And Ed.
Well, all of our names are right there. So, hey. Yes. What's up, Joe? Recall. Restless Spirits. What's up, brother? That's Jim. If you hey, Wolf Haunts. Cassie. What's up? Bluegrass. Marsha. Right? Am I right? Is it Marsha and Wayne? Bluegrass. Marsha and Wayne. Did I get it right? I think so. I hope so. We got a good show. Hey, Mumsy, how are you? Kendrick, Steve had a pretty good. Did you see Ken's video, Brent?
Did I see whose?
The Kindred Paranormal of the Delco experiment.
Did it come out this week? I have not been able to watch much of anything.
Hey, what's up? Paranormal of the Delco. Oh, we got some feedback.
That was me. Sorry.
Helena, you could put your link for your premiere in here too if you want to. You guys could put whatever links you want in here. If you go up to the top, there's our link for part of the discussion tonight. We premiered episode 7, part 1 Monday. And if you haven't seen it, the link is at the top pinned. Go ahead and check that out. But anybody, if you have links, throw them in there. Today we're going to be talking about episode 7. And we're going to do some question and answers again, because that was fun. Brent has been waiting to answer Joe's question all week out here.
Yeah, it's a hard one. What about waiting to answer?
Hard one?
He's waiting for me to answer it, I'm sure.
Steve, how are you, brother? All right. Haven't created it yet. All right. Well, Wolf, Helena, I will share it out in the community for sure. How was your week this week, fellers?
Good, busy week. Always a good week.
It's a week, no.
It's been all right. Once I get through this little hump of crap I got going on right now.
Yeah. Ed made a post last night on Facebook that I was reading when I was outside vaping about men saying, I'm all right. And when I'm
fine. All right's okay. It's fine. You say all right means you're all right. I'm fine. It's when you say that I'm fine in that tone, you ain't fine.
Faja, when are we hunting down Bigfoot? Me and Faja. Me too, Steve. Me too. Go Bills. Go Bills.
I'm disappointed they moved that game.
I'm not. Have you seen the snow up there?
I want to see Bills Mafia in that snow.
It wasn't on them. But, Ed, it wasn't on them. You know what I'm saying? What happened is the state ordinance said, hey, all the roads are closed. Nobody's going to the game, so they moved it. What's up, First Capital? Thanks for coming in. Gettysburg tomorrow. That's cool. Always a good time to go to Gettysburg. Florida, hey, what's up? Telekinetic. Telekinetic, we got some, yeah, see? Weeping Willow knows she's up there. She's up in, Toronto. What's the other one, Ed? Starts with an O. Ontario. So, episode 7. What were your thoughts on episode 7? Brent, what were your thoughts on it?
Well, I loved it, so.
I loved it too. It's snowing in Finksburg this evening.
She needs to keep that stuff out that way.
Yeah, I messaged Cassie the other day talking about the Bills, and she informed me that she is not a football fan. I was like, sorry, I thought you were a Bills fan. So yeah, episode 7. It was the first investigation ever of this Oddfellows Hall, and Ed said he had some things to talk about tonight about his review.
Yeah.
That I'd like to hear because I haven't had time to look into your review, Ed.
I didn't either.
Yeah. So, I mean, I've had a lot going on over the last few months, and me get my review done. I've apologized to these guys at least a half dozen times. Hey guys, look, I'm gonna get done. And Brent's like, if you're not pulling your hair out, and I was like, hold on, Brent, here's what I got going on. And Brent's like, dude, why are you doing all this? So, it's a long story. I mean, being an only child and having a parent who doesn't want to get rid of shit, and you gotta move them out of the house. It's a mess. It's just a long story. But I finally got my review done for Oddfellows because my thing is I had to get Oddfellows done so I can do Bohemian House, and I really want to do Bohemian House. So there's a little kick there for that, which I'll talk about that later on too. But so something that struck me as kind of interesting is
Eli. Go ahead.
Remember you got that feeling where I don't know if you describe it as kind of like sadistic or whatever.
Sadistic, yeah.
So there's a point where I'm like, wait a second, Brent turned a corner right there. Remember when Deborah came across the ghost box when we were all in that front room? And you're like, oh, Deborah. And Jarrett walked away, and I didn't catch it then, but I went back and played it a couple times. I'm like, wait a second. You also go, oh my God, did you hear that? Or hey, what's going on? And then you're like, Deborah.
Yeah,
Deborah. And
I heard that too, and I was like, what is wrong? Why did I say that?
I was like, there's your turning point.
I was like,
what? Okay. And then that seemed that was their turning point almost.
Yeah, dude. I heard that too, and I was pretty shocked myself. Like, why did I say
Yeah, when
that?
I was doing a review, I was like, what? That ain't Brent.
Yeah, like
That ain't Brent.
I put in my notes in like big bold type the timestamp, and I said, hey, right here, Brent,
Is that before? Was that before or after I said to you, hey, dude, I you know what? I actually feel wrong. Was it before or after?
Was it before?
Was me going, Deborah? Did that happen before I said to you, hey, I don't feel right, or after?
Mm-hmm.
No, that was before.
The Deborah part was before?
Yeah. So I almost want to where we get that. Where your little spin happened at,
Yep.
And then the other one, Brent, you're gonna laugh when I say this. So I'm reviewing the camera in the hallway, the one where Brent got the tap on it, right?
Yeah.
And I'm listening to it, and at first I hear some stuff going off, and I'm like, okay. And I'm like, I got a bunch of stuff. And then I realized Desiree and I were in the hallway at the other end. And I'm like, wait a second, that's contamination, So it's okay, throw all that out. Now, I believe, because like when I look at things, that we probably did get something, but I'm throwing it out because there's that contamination in there.
I hear you. That sucks. Yep.
But here's the other thing. I got a ton of footsteps on that camera, right? Hold on. Right above that's the kitchen. Okay. So I'm like, okay, am I hearing footsteps in the kitchen? But we have a member on our team who has a bad habit of pacing all the time.
Yeah.
So
it's not Jackie.
But here's the thing, though. I can almost account where he's at. So I can say the majority of them footsteps are not him, because that is right underneath of where the kitchen was, right?
Yeah.
Jared hardly spent time in the kitchen that night.
Yeah, I was hardly in the kitchen.
Yeah.
And we can hear, like, when we're swapping out batteries, we can hear the door open and close. And the other thing is we can hear that motion detector go.
That Bible box.
Well, the tripwire.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Out, like in that conjoining room.
Yep.
We can hear that go off, and I can hear Jarrett talking and still hear footsteps. I'm like, all right. So I'm giving plausibility to the footsteps that, hey, we got something here. Well, there's so many, like it's walking up and down them, but it's not making a creaking on the steps.
Well, we also got those footsteps, like walking up them steps.
Yeah.
Parasolo, what's up, man?
Another thing you're going to like when you see it is there is a blurt on that camera. A different one than what you showed me for Bohemian House. I mean, it is like a loud screech. It put me into an anxiety attack. It was so bad. I had to stop reviewing for a second because it was so loud in my ears. And I already had the volume at like 50%, so it wasn't just blaring the entire time. And then there's another one. We were on break. I went and used the bathroom, which is at the end of that hallway, right? I come walking out. I go up the steps, and when I get to the top of the steps, there's a loud breath. And I'm like, well, is that me? And then I hear, there goes Ed. And I'm like, oh, okay.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, I can't wait to hear that.
Well, yeah, Brent was feeling affected. Jackie was feeling affected. Dez was feeling affected a little bit. If you look at the end of that video, Ed's looking like he's been through a war, basically. Like he's up against the wall, like tired. And I don't know, maybe after that, there goes Ed. Maybe he latched onto you a little bit too.
I mean, Ed always sits down though.
Yeah, I always start getting tired towards investigations. I mean, I've caught myself snoring at different times when things get slow at the end of the night.
Yeah.
I mean, I was out with Desiree one time, and they're like, "Did you guys hear that?" I'm like, "That was me snoring. I'm sorry." not a demon. It's me.
So again, folks, up at the top, pinned to the top is episode 7. If you missed it, give it a watch. It's a good video. It's good investigation, good location. Also, if you have anything to share in here, everybody's blue. You can put whatever links in here that you want. Your premieres, your channels. Feel free. This is the democracy.
Another thing with the was in my review that I texted you guys about it too. The Bible box. Brent was so worried, like, man, this thing's not functioning. It shouldn't be doing this. When we were out of the room, that thing was going off like crazy.
Oh, yeah.
And I even timed the pattern. Like, is this a pattern or what's going on?
Yeah.
It wasn't a pattern.
All right.
It wasn't like, hey, we're like Garrett's flashlight was in Laurel, where I'm like, hey, guys, this is no good because it's exactly, same
seconds, right.
There's no pattern. There was 2 separate times during all that beeping where it spiked up. You know when it stopped going off regularly? When we came in the room. It's like
I do remember that. I do remember when you guys called that out, and then you went in there and it stopped. And I was like, I don't know. I changed the batteries. I mean, them batteries were brand new batteries. They should have lasted for weeks. Those units don't draw that much.
Yeah, and I got you on camera talking about that. Like the battery should be good, and you replace the batteries, and it kept doing the same exact thing. I'm like, well, the batteries are rolled out now.
Almost like it was calling somebody back in there.
Yeah, but literally, like I was in there when Brent went to go get the batteries. I'm like, okay, step into the beam, and it would go off. Yeah. Step out, it would go. It would stop.
And I was actually able to get that to happen as well. Like if it's you again, just please, can you step in? Are you walking right? Beep.
So I think episode 2 would be a good one.
That Bible box at Bohemian House when it was beeping while that light was on, and then that light went off, and the Bible box went off at the same time. The light went off, and then the Bible box went off. I was like,
when 2 things stack up like that, I love it. Yeah.
Damn right, Tommy. Go blue. 2 Saturdays from now will be the big one. You know what I'm saying?
Friday.
Hopefully we could do it again. So we're gonna share some captures from episode 7, and then we will open up some Q&As. So let me see. Present. Share screen. Here's a little one that we shared on Facebook the other day, just a small clip. Just a small clip here. Let me see. Can y'all see that?
Yep.
All right.
Echoing.
You can be that power enough not to tell me your name. It's not being a man.
But guess what? When Brent leaves here, you're still stuck here. You're not going to get a chance to talk now. Yep.
It's echoing bad.
Huh?
It's echoing really bad.
I don't know why.
Don't either.
Alone? Yeah. Well, you're going to be on, you're going to be
Still?
on.
Yeah.
When we walk through that threshold and we walk outside, you are still in here. You are not welcome to go with me. You are not welcome to go with Frank. You're not
Still?
welcome to go with Desiree, Jack, you're there. You are
It's not as bad.
You're not passing the threshold of this home. No one is
There you go.
light can get bright as you want to come light. Are you angry that we're here? Do you want us to leave? Stay. Leave now. Leave. I'm a forgiving man. I'd like to leave here the heart.
And you can tell Brent right here is a little bit
That
a
man.
little bit agitated.
I was. Yeah, that was pissed.
And then you get this.
Leave. I'm a forgiving man. I'd like to leave here the heart at peace and not be angry with you. I want to come back here and know that we.
Mad at me. Mad at me.
That's still all the time. Yeah, at first.
I like that because Ed's taking control a little bit. You know, he's coming in there like, all right, what the fuck's going on here? What's good? Because we were getting a lot of interaction out. You were out in the Great Hall at the time, and we were getting interaction like Brent's hurt. Help Brent, you know, coming out of the echo.
Actually,
that was weird.
Check on Brent, and I walked in, and he's like, he's like, I feel like something's, on me or whatever. I'm like, okay. He's like, I already did that. I'm like, I'm gonna say it too.
Yeah, I was like, it felt like something came up on me, and it pissed me off. Like, I mean, I instantly got infuriated, and then I was like, look, da 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 da, said my stuff. But then I was sitting there, and I could not shake it. Like, I just couldn't stop being pissed off. I was like,
I mean, I've known Brent for that was almost like me at Highlands. What is it?
Yeah,
yeah. That's when Ed went to go check on. Hello, Des. How are you? I hope everything is well.
Hey, Des.
Hey, I want to hit something real quick because I saw a few people say, "Hey, what was that? I just flew to him or whatever." I'm talking about the orbs, guys. That place had so much dirt and dust. In it.
Yeah.
That
we couldn't pass anything off.
No, there was so much dust in that place.
Sitting here for
Plus, it was July 11th.
We had wind.
90 freaking degrees. Skull. It was 90 degrees out there, and we had the windows open. So
we had windows open and the fan going. So
it still didn't help. I was sweating through everything. It was horrible.
Yeah. But so anything like orb light anomaly was pretty much tossed out.
Yeah,
there is one, and you guys know how I am with orbs. I hate them because so much. But I don't know if you remember this or not, Brent. You pulled your knife out and said, "What's in my hand?" And the second you pulled your knife out, something came directly down and went right into that hand where the knife is. And
Did it really?
Yeah. And like it wasn't solid, and I could see through it. I'm like, I'm gonna label that as a plausibility and make that a team.
That's another weird thing. Like, why did I pull? I remember doing that. That's not something I do. I have my knife on my hip all the time.
I gotta know.
How often in an investigation I'm like, what is this?
Jared's like, hey, how many fingers am I holding up? And Brent's like, I'm gonna stab you, motherfucker.
Tell me what this is.
There's one in that speakeasy too by the door when I'm in there by myself in the episode.
The flash.
That flashing burst. Did you see that by the door? That's very interesting too. It's almost like the one at Gresham.
Exactly.
So, all right. So we're going to share another one. This is actually, let me see. What am I doing here? Share screen. All right. This is actually where Ed started to hear. We can take
that was good.
Echo box.
Dissolve.
Yeah. A purpose for life dissolved.
Yeah.
Here's it.
Who is Ed?
Master.
The master. President. The
Can you
master.
tell me where the
Multiple direct, relevant responses about this certain lodge. We continue. Maybe it was talking about you, Brent, because you know you're a good friend of mine. My best friend.
Yep.
Enough. Get out.
No, get out.
Can you tell me the name of the guy that's in the kitchen?
Oh, here you go. I like this one right here. This is historically accurate.
Can you tell me where the Odd Fellows started in the United States?
Historically accurate.
What city?
In 1810.
I heard that as well. Very good.
What year did the Odd Fellows start?
So, the Oddfellows started.
It's still playing.
I know.
All right.
The Oddfellows started. Hey, David, what's up, my friend? My goodness, it is 2:37 in the morning. What are you doing up?
Yep.
The Oddfellows was a British gentleman's club that was Americanized in Baltimore in 1810. We also got the number of the lodge that was there in Carlisle, and we also got what they do to start a meeting. Again, this investigation is pinned to the top. If you haven't seen it, check it out. It's very good. And now that Ed has given me his finished review, part 2 might be out sooner than later.
Yeah, that's right.
How are we looking on Rising Sun? How we looking on Rising Sun there, Brent?
Man, this week just got shot for me, so I'm gonna get it done.
I don't think we're gonna have one for you next week because it's Thanksgiving and we'll be busy. I think I'll be not around. So I was told not to say that we were doing anything. So she didn't want anybody to try to break in the house, even though we live next to a cop. But yeah. So hopefully I can get that out, or we can get out the Rising Sun. Again, this is a hell of an investigation. And we got one more to share, and then we're going to open up to some questions. Hold on a second.
Ed, you look comfortable.
He does. Doesn't he? This is a EVP that was not on any other cameras, right, boys? We've done the review by now.
Yeah, I think I know which one this is. This is good.
This is an EVP that was caught by this handheld here. There's another camera in the room, and it doesn't have it on it. So
is this the one in the Great Hall?
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
the Great Hall. I couldn't review none of my stuff in there. It was like early in the night, and there's just way too much noise. I sat there for like 5 minutes. I'm like, I can't do this.
yeah.
This is there was no other noise going on with this one at this time.
Yeah. This is a pretty solid EVP right here.
Mm-hmm.
Old fashioned out of the ether EVP.
Did you nudge Brent? And if you nudge Brent, nudge me. Nudge me.
Ooh.
I'm all in here.
It's pretty good, huh?
Peter,
Peter.
did you nudge Brent?
I thought it was Peter.
Peter?
If you nudge Brent, nudge me. Nudge me.
All right.
That kid's laughing.
You think he's laughing?
Yeah.
If you nudge Brent.
I don't know.
It sounds like he's yelling back at somebody.
Yeah, it sounds like screaming back at somebody.
And
like-
again, this wasn't captured by any other camera. Nobody heard it.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't from anything outside. It wasn't. We didn't hear a disembodied voice. We didn't hear a voice. Period. We didn't hear anything.
Yep. Just straight out of the ether. I'd say that's what we like to call Class A EVP right there.
Yeah, no clue what's really being said. I don't
No
think it's
clue.
laughing though. I think someone's screaming for something.
Yeah, it's almost
It's
like
definitely-
he's yelling back at somebody about playing, not saying he's playing a game, but like he's trying to yell instructions or something back. He's trying to relay a message to somebody.
Hmm.
He's got to yell it out to him.
Yeah.
Or they, them, whatever it is.
All right. That's a pretty good one right there. Now through the evening, we got a bunch. We got a bunch of EVP there. A bunch of EVP. We got them downstairs when there was nobody there. Yeah, it sounds like a little boy to me, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got a bunch. Mario, what's up, brother? Thanks for coming in. Brazil. But I can't wait to get back. What do you guys think?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Looking forward to
Especially
it.
to build off what we have and, try and get some more with it.
All right, so Brent, you want to Joe's question?
No.
Open, Debbie.
All right.
We did question and answer last week, Deb. If anybody wants to ask a question to Pasadena Paranormal, we will do our best to give you an answer.
Yeah, I never even went back into last week's. I didn't have a chance to go back into last week's video. Did anybody post comment questions on that video like we asked them to?
I don't think so. I'm not sure.
You didn't check either. I didn't have a chance to. Joe, our brother Joe, decided to text me, and he's like,
Hold on.
"All right."
Ed has an interview with Joe Sunday night.
Oh, hold on. Sunday this week?
Yeah.
I'm so excited for that. That's awesome. Everybody tune in for that. That'll be great. That is awesome.
No,
I'm so
it's
glad-
not. It's going to be a Zoom that he's going to record for a video.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah,
Very
so-
cool.
Yep.
Very cool. All right. So Joe, after
Video of Ed's old house.
yeah. So Joe, after our last Friday's BTI, texts me. He's like, "Hey, I got one just for you, Brent," and he's just put me on the spot. So much that he actually texted me a few hours ago, reminding me, "Hey, don't forget my question." So he says, "Brent, if ghosts are real, what are they made of? And what are your thoughts on this? And why can't, hold on. Whoop. Sorry. What are your thoughts on this? And why can't we see them? Why can't some see them and others can't?" Like that's like
an advanced trigonometry question. And
this is and,
math.
So I'm sure Joe just wants to hear what Brent's thoughts are, which makes it a little easier because you're just going to get Brent's opinion, right? Grain of salt. It's worthless anyways.
Parasolo's saying hardcore question. Yes. Hello,
Yeah.
Tess. How are you? Thanks for coming in.
So, I mean, I kind of break questions down. I think I'll have more substantialness from my opinion for the first part of the question. The last part, I'm just going to kind of BS or let it go. I don't know. So I always, all right, you all can see from my background here, that's where I stem from. That's where I'm grounded in everything. So if ghosts are real is kind of not even a question, but it's part of it, right? If ghosts are real, then. So I get a lot of stuff from this word and, things that stand out to me, because I stand on the word are what does it say? Right. So there, in Matthew and Mark, we see that when Jesus is, everybody knows whether you believe or not, Jesus walking on water, right? And when they see it, they don't think it's Jesus. They actually say they think it's a spirit, a ghost.
Yeah.
And the word that's used there is a Greek word. The Greek word in the Bible is phantasma.
Thanks for coming in, David.
And it means a specter, right? So here's the word of God showing that they thought it was a ghost. All right. Okay, that's just a word, right? The next part and this is all again tying to Joe saying if spirits are real. All right. This isn't answering the whole question. This is just the beginning part. And then in Luke, for instance, when Jesus, after his resurrection, he comes to his disciples and says, "Behold my hands and feet, that it's me, myself. Handle me and see, for a spirit has not flesh and bone as I have." So even Jesus is saying, spirits are real. Spirits of people are real. Mm-hmm. He's just saying, look, I'm not one of them. I'm flesh and bone now again.
Don't have what I have.
So my whole point of bringing that up is to that first part. If ghosts are real, all right, ghosts, spirits, whatever you want to call it, I do think they are real, and it's based on that.
Do you think they're real?
If they're not, then the three of us got some huge problems.
No. Then
more than just the three of us. We've all got some serious mental issues going on. All right. So, I mean, again, he's got a big part of it. So the next part is, what are they made of?
Thanks, Amber.
What are your thoughts on this?
Thanks,
and why can some see them and others can't? So what are they made of? That is the question that we're all after, because whether you think you are or not, if you're using a meter, something to detect them, you're trying to identify what they're made of, because what they're made of that affects the reality that, our physical reality that we perceive. Now I do have thoughts on, like, they're going to get a little ethereal here on it, like that it's the breath, right? I think they're formless, but they can take form that they remember, right? Or that is built up in whatever they are. So I think that there's a lot to do here with
to a happy time in their life as well.
Yeah, I don't
remember, Brent. Remember down there at the damn Hancock Manor with that little girl. Remember her?
Yeah, I do. All right.
Remember her, the little girl with the window? And we found her at 9 years old, but she died at 60.
Yeah, that one's a weird one, and I'm with you. I do got to think about that. But whatever, we don't really know what they're made of. I have zero clue. I'm still trying to figure out what I think they're made of. I can only think that they are a part of this physical reality. We just can't see them. And that they're formless and yet still can take form if they want to. As far as the why can people see them and others can't, I do strongly think that
Okay.
has a lot to do with their desire to be seen at a time and our desire to and willingness to see them. I mean, let's face it, people have said they've seen spirits and had no intention of seeing a ghost. You know what I'm saying? Like you didn't like we have non-paranormal investigators have gone in something like, whoa, what the hell was that? I'm out.
Mhm.
You know, I can tell you when I was a kid, I had zero desire to see ghosts and I saw them in my house.
Like with this team alone, you know, Ed hears them and he feels them.
Yeah.
I see them. Yeah, I see the shadow play movements. I see the little head and shoulders peeking around the door, stuff like that. I wouldn't say that I'm an empath. Deb says that I am. I wouldn't say that I am, but for some reason, I see them, and I don't know why. You know, I can't explain it, but it happens almost every investigation. You know, I'm like,
yeah,
I just seen that movement over there.
Yep.
You know, so Ed, he's got that different power though.
Yeah.
I like hearing Ed talk about his abilities.
Well,
how does that happen?
I got a Joe.
On me.
Thank you, sir. I didn't think it was a great answer, but I'm glad you it passed your approval for the moment. It is that part of the question. What are they made of? That is a key of what I'm trying to determine.
You know what if they're just following that? You know, remember, you guys probably heard it as kids. Children are meant to be seen and not heard. What if they're just following that same rule? You know,
is it children are meant to be seen, not heard?
The spirit's just like, hey, we're not meant to be seen or heard. We're just.
I actually do think. I mean, I think there likely is some kind of governance.
Stacy,
I've always wondered if there's some kind of governance in the spiritual world. All right. Obviously, I do believe in a whole higher power, and if there's a hierarchy that's passed down to govern.
I think we've captured evidence of that as well too. Thanks, Mario.
Not just of a controlling spirit, but hey, we're not supposed to do that, you know, type of thing.
Riley, Ed, Desiree wants you to tell him about your visit to Ellicott City. However, I want you to elaborate on that because I'd like to hear about that. But I want to read Riley's comment right here. I always find it really interesting and cool that Brent relates it all back to the word and how it all helps bring everything together since it's the base of everything here.
That's right. That's how I feel. Awesome.
All right, Ed, tell us about your trip to Ellicott City with Desiree.
So I took Desiree to Bohemian House because I was like, oh, Desiree and Tiff's going to love one another. And Jarrett, what did I tell you with the investigation when you talk about coming back there? What did I tell you?
What did you tell me?
I said, hey, we need to bring Desiree here, right?
Yeah.
So Kelly and Desiree already set up to go to Ellicott City, and I was just, okay, well, tell me where I'm going, when I'm going, kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So we go to Bohemian House. Desiree walks in. I don't tell her a single word at all. She goes back in the gallery. And she's like, I see children coming from that space, and they're going outside, out the window. Oh, okay. And Tiffany's talking to other people and everything. And I was like, hey, Tiffany, come here. You know, when she's done. I'm like, tell her what you told me. So Desiree goes, okay. Like, she acts shocked out. I want her to relay this. And she told Tiffany exactly what she saw, which is what Tiffany sees on her cameras. And Tiffany goes, can I just give you a hug right now? And gave Tiffany this big old hug.
That's awesome.
So, I mean, we went in and out quite a few stores.
Yeah.
And I tell you what, Main Street is there. Like, Desiree and I walk in a store, and I'll be like, oh, I don't like this place. She's like, yeah, this is bad. And we walk into another one. Like, hey, this store feels good up here. But then we cross a threshold to the back of the store. Like, okay, something shifted right there.
Gee.
Like her and I were like right in sync with one another. Hey, thanks.
Family and paranormal investigations. Thank you. My goodness.
But the oh god, what was I gonna say? Oh, I lost my train of thought there for a second. I'll get back to it here.
Good bad side.
I did get a $150 parking ticket. I will say that.
Ew.
Look, it's my fault. There was no parking. It was busy. It was the last nice Saturday they were going to have, and I'm like, I'll squeeze in this spot for a little bit. Nobody else got a ticket here. I'll be good to go. And I came back, and I wasn't good to go.
Yeah.
Family
So-
just gave a nice little donation there, and I'd like to say thank you. They also asked if we work with other teams. Sometimes we do. We're trying to schedule a big collab in Carlisle. It's hard to do that. However, I know you're in South Carolina now, right? Didn't you say you're in South Carolina? You had a lot of videos in Maryland from what I've seen. We do public tours where you can come into the locations that we investigate. You can bring your own equipment. You can do your own 2-hour investigation for a very cheap price, and all that money goes to the location.
Who's in South Carolina?
Smith Family Paranormal Investigation.
Your people, the Smiths.
I'm a Smith, and I'm in South Carolina.
Smith Family, he's a Smith too. He's in South Carolina.
I fit right in. Hey, real quick, hold on. I want to address Joe's. He said something to Deb here. Said the reason he asked me was because I'm somewhat interested in physics like he is. Yeah, I was trying to think of some physics explanation. I've yet to get there for it. I am into physics, and I think there could be an answer. I'll get back to you. I'll circle back on the question. I won't forget it though.
Oh, Smith family's in Severn.
Go ahead, Ed.
I'll say Smith family's in Severn.
Oh, they're in Severn, Maryland.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
All right.
hey,
Well,
if you're interested in the Benson Hammond house, just shoot us a message. We might be able to set something up because they're down in the wintertime. They need to generate funds.
we could work together in the Benson Hammond House Smith family. I mean, Severn's right down the street from BHH.
So here's what else I was going to say about Ellicott City. Brent, I told Jarrett last week he needs to get business cards made. I wrote down our Facebook and our YouTube at least a half dozen times. So here's what happened. I go and see Tiffany. I was going to record the stuff for the Be Real and everything, right? And she was just busy. And she's like, I'm so sorry. I'm like, no, make your money. I'd much rather you do it. I can always come back to Ellicott City. It's a 15-minute drive, So she's like, I know. She's like, come back later. I was like, no problem. Well, we go next door. And I walk in. I'm like, hold on a second. I go back next door to Tiffany real quick. I'm like, hey, we got next door, right? And she's like, yeah, next month. I'm like, sweet. She's like, go introduce yourself. I'm going to do it. So I walk up to the lady. I'm like, hey, look, just want to introduce myself. My name's Ed. I'm with Pasadena Paranormal. We just investigated next door last week. She's like, oh my God, I'm so glad to meet you. Starts going through it. Well, her and I start talking. Well, she's got a store full of people. So guess what starts happening? It's story time, kids. People are gathering around like, wait, can you write that down for me? One lady was like, she was used to work at the Gettysburg Visitor Center. She's like, you need to go here, here, here. I'm like, oh, okay. I'm like, oh, I remember this. Well, guys, I got short-term memory loss. I didn't remember any of the places she told me. So if you're the nice lady who I met in Ellicott City last week that worked at Gettysburg, drop a line in the comments, please.
There you go.
Yeah, I mean, and it's funny because Kelly and Desiree go upstairs. I'm like, well, I want to go upstairs too, but I was caught up in these conversations.
Des, when are you coming back out with us?
I told her.
Desiree, I know Ed told you something, and Brent and me, Ed and Jackie all talked about it, and it's cool. It really is.
Yep.
But what call it? So they go upstairs. Well, I was like, hey, let me excuse myself. I'm gonna go walk around. I'll come back down. I walk up to the second floor, and as soon as I hit the top of the second floor, like suddenly just I felt like it was pushed my chest. I'm like, oh, wait a second. So I'm sitting there. And I was like, all right. Well, then I'm hearing whispers downstairs, like, hey, what team were they with again? Can you write that down for me? Let me go back down and address all this again. So I didn't even get to walk around the place. But Kelly said she was upstairs and there was some young girls and they're like, did you hear that? They're like them guys that are on TV. They're going to come in here and investigate this place. Like, oh gosh. So
Mr. Bean.
That's what I told Joe. I was like, we need business cards.
Ask Ed and Brent about March. hold on a second, Joe. I will. I want to address this. Smith family, Northeast is literally 5 minutes that way.
I went to Northeast.
Right there, 5 minutes that way.
Yep.
Right next to the Popeyes.
Northeast High School.
So, Smith family, I think our next tour is going to be Rising Sun sometime in the spring. They want to do another tour. The Rising Sun, and if you haven't watched the Rising Sun in, it's episode 5 in the investigation series, part 1 and 2. Check that out because it's a very active location as well. And if you're ready, just let us know and we can hold your spot or tell you how to get tickets. Basically only $25 for 2 hours.
If Smith family's interested, have them reach out to us or reach out to me, and Bessingham needs funds in the wintertime. So we can work something out there with them. I'll run it past Jan and everything and see what we can work out there. But I'm sure for, a fee, to get them funds, we can get them in Bessingham.
Definitely could. So, yeah, but Desiree, I what was?
When she told me, I walked up to the top of the stairs. I'm like, oh, nope. I mean, and that wasn't like a nope. I don't want to be up here. That was like a nope. Like, okay, whatever you are, I'm going to be stronger than you, and I'm standing my ground now.
Des, we're all serious. Okay, I'm just putting that out there.
What was Joe talking about March?
Joe wants us to talk about March and the collab in Carlisle.
Oh.
Joe said he's good on the 10th or the 24th. Debbie, the 10th or the 24th. We got to get Courtney, who's at bingo right now. Who goes to bingo anymore? But Courtney's. Courtney.
Hey, you know what?
At bingo.
You know what? My oldest and his fiance, they went to I got a firearms bingo.
Yep. There you go.
And his woman won an AR. I was like, what? Got a nice AR-15. I was like, they have bingo for guns?
You didn't know that? They used to have that up here in Maryland.
That's my kind of bingo.
Who are we talking about a possible collab with? Kindred. Kindred's in Florida. He can collab with Deb.
I want to collab with in Florida.
Yeah,
I want to jump on that.
Well, Deb's got a shit ton of locations in Florida.
I love Florida.
Right, there's my kind of bingo too.
See, Deb, I told you fit well here. So the 24th, boys, that's what we're looking at. We got to talk to Courtney and see if Trinity can make the 24th. If not, it'll just be me, you, Joe, and Deb.
Yeah. That's a Friday, right?
No, that's a Saturday. Right?
March 24th?
Joe, it would have to be, I think he told me the weekend, so it would be the 25th. Okay. Yeah, it would be the 25th, Deb. The 25th, because the 24th is a Friday.
I'm off that day, so.
Hey, there's a question that just popped up.
I'm not. I got work like a freaking dog today. Beat me like a government mule today.
Tessa dropped the question just to see highlight it so you don't lose it.
Where are we at?
Down the bottom of the chat, Tessa.
Got it up.
Are you gonna read it? Are we reading it?
What are the thoughts on entities, spirits being conjured by the act of people talking so much about something being there that it brings it into existence?
You manifest it.
Wait, hold on. Are we saying that our thoughts bring it into it? Like it was non-existent period and just us talking about it manifests our imagination, or like that there is an entity in existence just not interacting and maybe not there? Is this like a Zozo type of question thing where you're opening actually up to something coming in? I guess
it's basically your thoughts as a as a conduit, using your thoughts as a conduit to open up interaction. Amber says manifestation. Deb says the Philip experiment based on that theory, Tessa. I can't read that word. Brent, can you read that? Eager. You see Kindred?
Egregore. I'm very interested in that. So I'm still confused. Are we? So obviously, this is a common discussion piece. Is this the scenario of something literally does not exist? Like there's not even a spirit or an entity, period. But if we start sitting here talking about, Bingo, the purple leprechaun,
and he shows up.
He's going to start showing up. That sounds like some kind of psychosis thing.
Well, she brings it up here. She says it was non-existent, but the people believe in it's there. And talking about so much, it brings it to existence.
I would be 100% skeptical of that. That being said, I do believe there are spirits that are not human that would take advantage of something like that. So I have no real weight in that conversation because I don't know anything about it.
Yeah,
I think something like that, honestly, that it's plausible, but for me, it's a fine line. I mean, I've had instances where I've thought of, say, a question, and as I'm getting ready to ask that question, like I might be thinking, "Hey, are you a little boy?" Right? And I'm using a flashlight. I'm like, "Are you?" And the light comes on. Like, oh, let me finish my question first.
Yeah.
So I believe it is possible for us to manifest things, but I don't think so much that we're manifesting spirit appearing. I think that we're drawing the energy for it to present itself that's already there.
There's something there. And I'll say, like Joe made a statement here that, it's like a study from the 60s. There's a lot of studies on psychology out there that I think would back up what I'm about to say. And that is, you can definitely get a group of people together and have them not know each other, and in the end of it, all feel the same exact type of things, see and hear the same type of things, just based on the kind of environment you put them in. And if everybody wanted to, yes, typically you could. Now that's a cop-out answer, and I'm not trying to put that out as the answer to that question. But I am very skeptical about us just manifesting whatever we want. This is the Matrix, maybe.
Well, so here's one thing: is you brought up a good example. Hey, if we all believe in a purple leprechaun, does the purple leprechaun now pop up? Right?
Yeah.
And the thing with manifesting is believing full-heartedly. So if we get a room of 5 people, and 4 of those 5 people believe in the purple leprechaun, but Brent's like, this is ridiculous, it doesn't happen. But if Brent's like, you know what? Yeah, I 100% on board the purple leprechaun, what happens? And I'll tell you right now, I'm the guy like Brent.
Hold on, Ed. Hold on. So Brent's sitting there like, y'all crazy. And I'm out of here. I leave. All of a sudden, Bingo, the purple leprechaun pops up like, that guy's a dick.
That guy's an asshole.
But that's the thing is, I've never been in something where that happens. Like, okay, I mean, honestly, we start off with something small. Nobody's going to try and find the purple leprechaun. I don't know. If y'all are, then let us know how that works out. But I'm like you, Brent, where I'm like, we can't make shit happen that's not there. I believe we can bring energy to present something.
Saying it for
I'm all about there is the ability to manifest positivity and negativity. I'm 100% with that.
Our energy can feed into the activity, but I don't think that we can bring activity to us. It's
manifesting something out of nothing is an act of God, in my opinion.
All right. So Riley says, what do you think about the idea of spirit attachments?
I think that's real.
I can talk firsthand on this.
Yeah, I think that's real.
Me and Brent did a investigation a long time back, and we were dumb and we were young and we didn't block ourselves and we didn't protect ourselves. And I'm pretty sure an elemental followed me home, and
I still have marks on my foot and on my shin from that night, bro. That just appeared, and I mean, my whole body was riddled. I had to go to the
We got
doctor.
a call from work saying some things were happening at the house, and I told the person to scream at it and tell it to stop. And when she did, it stopped, and I left work and followed, went through with the old Lord's prayer and deliverance prayer, and and everything calmed down after that. But yes, if you do not protect yourself,
Yeah, let me throw another one out. This is a story from that we've told before. And Ed, I think you're aware of this one.
Crafty, what's up?
Back in the
How are you?
Before our investigation days, group of us got together and decided to go to this old house. There was zero desire or looking into ghosts. We were just going to pretty much be jerks at an old abandoned house. And, you know, drunk and stupid and young. And that house clearly had spirits protecting it, at least one. And we got back to our house after some crazy stuff happened. I won't go into the whole story. And for at least a month and a half,
I'm good.
we were, I mean, we would sit there and the front door, we watched TV and the front door would open. And they all, you know, I live with a couple of buddies there. And they would look at me like, this is all your fault. You actually said anything that happens, it's all on you. Get up and close the door. So I had to get up and I would lock the deadbolt and everything, sit back down, and all of a sudden that door a minute later. I mean, like all sorts of stuff happened. I'd get to my mom like, how did we stop this at the old house? You know, where do we get rid of this? And yeah, so I do believe spirit attachment's real. Be careful.
Indeed, Amber.
You know, and
that's why you got to tell them you can't do that.
Not only to you. So I went. This is back in 2020, and I met with girl Amber who does Reiki and all that and everything. And I go to her. She's like, "I got a question for you." Within the first 5 minutes of sitting down and talking to her, she's like, "Who's Jared and who's the soldier?" I'm like, "Oh, hold on."
I remember you telling me. Yep.
And she doesn't know Jared. She's never met Jared. And I was like, what do you mean? Well, Jared apparently had something on him. And at that time, Jared and I had met up recently. And she's like, this soldier jumped from Jared to you.
Hey,
and I had no idea this thing was even with me or whatever. Like, I'm just going around. And she's like, we're removing it from you tonight. Well, okay, cool. She's like, he doesn't bother you, but he came from Jared to you. You know, I mean, that's why when I leave a location, the first clips we played, when we cross that threshold, you're not going across it. You're staying here.
Yeah, you don't.
You know? When I leave a location, I put my windows down. And hey, if you're in a car, you got to get out. You don't get a free ride home. I mean,
you know what's crazy? You saying that, Ed? You saying that's really interesting because that story I was just telling, we had to go down this dark driveway right off the main road. And a buddy of ours had to run up and bring us up because it was dark. We didn't have lights on. We were trespassing, you know. So he backed us up on the main road and he jumped. He was like, "Guys, get out of here. I feel heavy. Something's on me right now." Like that, like, you know, like the whole thing with something getting on you and following you. It's not like they're running behind you. Like he literally felt it on him and it was in that house. I mean, everybody's seen what happened when we got to that house.
That was the old Solly house on Marley Neck Road, Ed.
On the Solly family, Solly Road, Marley Neck Boulevard.
All those townhomes. I wonder what those people in those townhomes are getting right now.
The graveyard, the Solly graveyard, is still there. They put a fence around it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I could walk there and tell you exactly where that house stood.
So can
I could walk there as long as I was standing in that graveyard. Like, boom, there it is. That's where the house stood.
You could point to the house and be like, "Those people are going through some shit."
Yep.
We could not. Do you want an investigation? Which brings me to this. We might have an investigation, Ed, here soon.
Oh, really?
My realtor wants to buy a house in Toolsville. And He wants to buy a house in Toolsville, and he thinks it's haunted, and he wants us to investigate it to make sure that it's not. And he sent me pictures, and I was like,
That's another thing, Jared. You can look at pictures and drive by a place and be like, "That one's it." Like I'm
he sent me the pictures. It was like,
put 5 different historic sites right next to each other. Jared be like, "That's our best chance right here. This is the one right here."
He sent me the pictures of it, and I was like, dude, that place is crazy.
See, and my thing is because I always question myself.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, I want to go in that place, but do I want to go there because it's actually haunted, or because I just think, hey, that looks cool?
Yeah. Don't do that here. Just let that freak fly.
Yeah.
Just let that freak fly. All right, folks. So again, if you haven't seen episode 7, if you scroll all the way up to the top, it's pinned to the top. The link is. Give it a watch. Throw that thumbs up on there. Let YouTube know you like us. And it's a good watch. So that's going to be it for tonight.
Yep.
We're coming up on over an hour.
We're over an hour.
We try to keep these an hour. So,
you have any more questions? Put them in the comments here,
or save them for next week.
Save them for next week. Yep.
And
we'll try to go back and look at them.
But for me,
for Brent
and Ed,
Pasadena Paranormal, we wish you adieu, and we will not let you walk into that darkness alone. Have a good day, everybody.
Later.